Hi, welcome to Truth with Tal Isaac, episode number 116 coming at you tonight. The game review, NFL review, and Doran Desmond in the house.
Welcome to the show, Doran.
Welcome to the show, Doran.
Pleasure. Round of applause for you guys, though. Is this true? The number one podcast?
The number one sports podcast in Windsor, Essex. Yep.
Yeah.
Check it. Check the facts. Fact check. Number one sports podcast in Windsor, Essex.
Honor to be here.
Good. Off the top, thank you to the fans. We've received a lot more comments and feedback lately. I'm not sure if it's just people are recognizing the sheer talent and silliness of the podcast. Whatever it is, it's a pretty cool thing that we do. Sports is fun, and we have fun with it. So thanks, fans.
Thank you to the fans.
Okay.
Thank you to the fans.
I'm a fan.
We do have to chat about the game that we were at last night. Isaac took me to see the Lakers, which...
well, we should say
was a
OG
basketball
birthday
game.
this week.
Oh, yeah.
So, happy birthday to the OG.
Yeah, thanks.
So-
I turned 54 on
Team Tal.
Tuesday. Hashtag Team Tal Nation.
So, we went to the Pistons-Lakers game. I wrote nothing down. I'll let you say like two sentences on it, but it's a poverty franchise.
Okay, this is hard for us to talk about, but the Pistons are colossally bad. Just so bad. We're going to talk about some of the positives in a minute. But right now, they're just not a lot of fun to watch. 4 years ago, when they were crap, but they were at least competitive and entertaining, they're just not very good. And it makes us sad. But let's talk about some positive things.
This is going to be a very positive episode.
Yeah, get
So
the
the
negative.
loudest crowd last night, do you know what the loudest cheer was for?
When they showed Amon-Ra
When they
St.
showed
Brown on the
Amon-Ra St.
Jumbotron.
Brown on the
Deservedly so.
sidelines.
Deservedly so.
Big,
Yeah.
big cheer. Bad teams equal cheap tickets. So we
Except
get to go
when-
to a lot of
except
games.
when LeBron's in
Except when
town.
LeBron's in town.
Golly.
That's a whole separate
How much?
deal.
How much last night?
It was birthday gift, so I took care of it.
Okay,
So
no
I got
questions.
it.
Don't worry
I
about it.
got
Don't worry about it.
I think it was 53 US,
Over.
approximately.
Okay, so do we have to talk about more about the Pistons yet?
I
or-
have to talk about a couple more positive things. They have pieces in Cade, Doran, and Thompson. And they got a couple of bench guys, Ivy, Beef Stew, and Sasser. They have some building blocks. They need some good things to happen to them. They deserve it. We deserve it. So 12 months from now, we're going to talk about, hey, the Pistons look pretty good. They made some off-season acquisitions, and it's going to be better.
Sure, I'll let you think that, bro.
Okay, taking that one. Napoleon. We saw that last Thursday. We're going to talk about that movie from... You didn't see it yet, don't
I
you?
haven't seen it, and honestly, I don't think I will. Unless you guys tell me otherwise.
So it depends on who you'd like to listen to.
Okay, no. Okay. I came out of it, and I'm like, I think this is pretty good. And then they were like, not really. And now I've kind of come back to the, okay, it's not that good, but it's not bad. I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine.
There's
Maybe
some funny
even
bits.
good. There's a couple of, like, some of the scenes is awesome. Joaquin Phoenix is a beast. He is such a good actor.
Legacy game again.
Yeah, Legacy, like, I wanted Gladiator again. I didn't get that. I got a lot of the good fight scenes. Problem is, Napoleon was a kook, right? And
A tyrant.
a tyrant, a narcissist.
Nice word.
Just a complete ass. And they showed too much of his personal life and his wife and all that stuff. That's not that interesting. I don't want to see
Again,
that much of
relevant
it.
to the story, but that...
Sure, it was relevant, but they could have, instead of having an hour and 10 minutes of wife crazy stuff,
Okay, the
done that
movie's,
in 35.
the movie's 3 hours, essentially. So there's a lot of everything.
More
in it.
fighting, more history. I would have liked to see some of the other political powers at the time, Prussia, Russia, England, chiming in. We just got bits and pieces of that.
Yeah, you brought up Gladiator.
Yeah.
Doran, we've never talked about Gladiator. Give me 10 seconds on Gladiator right now.
Gladiator. Okay. I've watched it twice. And it's been 10 years since I've watched it.
So we're going to watch it again soon.
But
Yeah.
is it, in terms of movies, eliteness, is it in the elite category for you guys?
So I seen it, like, I don't know, 3 years ago. I probably saw it for, really the first time in its entirety.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really good. And then I rewatched it going into Napoleon, same director.
Kind of like a prequel.
So I'm just like, it's an excuse to watch Gladiator.
Aged well.
One of the best movies of all time.
I'd say
Like-
it's probably in the top 20-ish, top 25.
You're saying
for me.
ever or favorite for you?
Favorite.
Yeah, I wrote down 30. I said it's probably top 30 for me.
Yeah.
I'm a Russell Crowe guy. I
he's
like
so
Russell
good.
Crowe. He's a beast in that movie.
Yeah, he was great.
So, but it was just, for me, I remember watching it not like as a movie buff at the time. And it was like a lot of, like, battle, glory, and blood, sweat, and tears, which is like To me, I like that type of stuff.
Dudes like it.
Yeah, dudes like blood,
Yes,
sweat,
for
and
sure they
tears,
do.
right? It's like a Dan Campbell in a movie.
Yeah. Dante, shout out to Dante and Lauren for their sweet gym. They put a sweet gym in their garage, but it's too nice. I said to Dante, we need like some blood on the walls just to toughen up. So we're going to put some cool sayings on there.
Sure. Penn State, Michigan State. I'm going to do a bit on this.
Please do.
I don't know if I told you.
No.
They played Friday night at Ford Field.
Yeah.
I have a good buddy of mine, shout out Dom, who's a big Michigan State fan.
Sorry to hear.
He's
How
not
is
a
he
convict.
Michigan State fan.
He's not a convict, but he is a state fan.
I didn't think he was that kind.
No, so I went. That was, I don't know if anyone watched the game. It was one of the worst displays of football I've ever seen. MSU had 68 total yards of offense
I
throughout the
watched
entire game.
0 seconds of it.
They averaged 1.4 yards per play. They had 5 first downs over the whole game.
My gosh.
So that's like a first down, 1.2 first downs per quarter, if my math is correct.
Yeah, no, it
Yes,
checks
it
out.
is.
You paid for these tickets, sorry, just to state on the record, you paid for these tickets.
And you didn't get us like a terribly cheap deal. Sorry, Dom.
But we hit a point like early in the third quarter where it's like, okay, this is awful. New game. How low can we go? That was the game.
It's a good game.
We ended up row 1, Penn
Love
State
that.
sideline. It was pretty cool. So we got some good content talking like because it was an NBC game. So we're just talking to NBC crew guys. Good experience. 5 first downs, third lowest in a game in program history for Michigan State convicts. I just wanted to talk about that and say that was one of the worst displays of the sport I've ever seen.
Poverty.
Poverty franchise.
Poverty franchise.
What else you have?
Google is a good program. They do a lot of good things. Let's say you and I are coming up with a strategic planning a document, so I can start it. You can add to it whenever you want.
Love
And
it, yeah.
If you're working on something, I can actually see, hey, boom, you're working on it. Here's the thing. Isaac has access to my Google Doc for the Truth of Tal Isaac. And every time I put anything Tigers or Red Wings, he just deletes it.
That's not true. I will totally allow you to talk about Patrick Kane because I am so in on the Wings right now.
'Kay.
It was a mix of Pistons being poverty, Lions making me really nervous, which we'll talk about, and the Wings making a huge move. So I'm like so in on the Wings right now. Patty Kane to the Wings, big deal. Do you know anything about
Ty?
that?
Yeah.
You know, I do. Number 88 in Detroit. And I actually have in my notes here, we're admittedly not hockey guys.
No,
to
we're not
say.
big hockey guys.
We're not big hockey guys, but
Nope.
you know, come playoff hockey, if we got a good team, we're there. We're rooting for them and whatnot. But shout out to the Red Wings. They've done their job this year. They've put people in the seats
Yes.
at the Little Caesars Arena because they're an exciting team to watch. You know, they've got some young players, they've got some veterans, and it's just a good team to watch. And guess what? They're adding pieces as they get better because you know what? We see our potential. We see DeBrinket's putting the puck in the net.
Yeah,
we see
Larkin's playing
Larkin
well.
is
Yeah.
just, Detroit kid. So you know what? Let's go get Patty Kane because why not? Why not? We're going to make a run at the playoffs and anything can happen in the playoffs. So you know what? Shout out to the Red Wings. They deserve it.
Yeah,
When you have
shout out Wings.
management who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that is rare right now in
And-
Detroit.
Yeah.
The ownership is patient, right? That's the key thing. Like Carolina, they get a coach every 4 or 5 months, right? As an
Are
example.
you talking about the Panthers?
Yeah, Panthers.
I want to talk a little bit. I don't want to spend much time on them. We'll just do it now because you brought them up.
We might as well. Go ahead.
Doran, fill the folks in on. 'Cause we haven't talked about it, but I'm sure you know what their owner said.
Frank. So I just know Frank Reich is out, done.
Yeah.
1-10, the Panthers. And I heard there was some back and forth on whether Bryce Young is their guy or not anymore.
Well, the rumor is that in the
Sorry, not a rumor. The owner said.
the
this.
owner said,
The
yeah.
owner said this. Go ahead.
So Stroud, the Ohio State quarterback, was the number 2 pick and is ripping it up in Houston. And armchair quarterback, it looks like obviously Stroud should have been picked, but you don't say anything because you still have Bryce Young. Like 5 years from now, when Bryce Young retires because he just got beat up so much, who's Bryce Young?
Bryce Young's retiring in 5 years.
He could. He
Probably.
could. CTE.
He won't even hit his
CTE
growth
maybe?
sprout by then.
They can't protect him.
Anyway, if they decided, if somebody in the room said, hey, we should draft CJ, but they decided to draft Bryce, cool to silence. Just shut up. You don't talk about that. But the ownership said, yeah, we should have picked CJ.
They basically said that they traded up expecting Stroud to be on the board and Young to go 1, but then tried to backtrack and be like, but we all really like Bryce Young and we're all unanimous and he's our guy. But we traded up thinking that Young was going to go 1 and we were going to get Stroud. Is essentially what he said. It's like I thought it was fake at first. I watched
It's terrible.
Just
Well,
absolute shambles.
Let the record straight, though. As good as CJ Stroud has been this year, who is going to win, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Foreshadowing, sorry.
Yep.
He's never beat Michigan. Never beat Michigan.
That's true. That's
how about
an
we
excellent
segue?
point.
How
Never
about
beat
we
him.
segue? Go
Tell
ahead.
you what, I'm going to
Start
skip
off.
over the Tigers talk.
As you should. Now let's talk about
We
the
might circle back to Josh Gideon, Corey Perry a little later.
Oh, wow. Tough.
game. Not touching that.
Tough.
Okay.
Did they go to Michigan State? No.
No. They could have. Don't touch the table.
Let's talk about the game.
Okay, so Youngblood was at the game. He bought a ticket like in July and was really undecided until a couple days prior to the game and said, listen, this is an epic opportunity, one of the biggest games in the history of Michigan and Ohio State. Go. Now, please tell us about your experiences on Saturday.
Do you guys want to talk about the actual game first, and then I'll tell you some just kind of random like adventures, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's go some game analysis first.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah, we'll start. You know what? We came out hot. Will Johnson with the pick there, and that just really set the tone. And you know what? Ohio State, I think they were a pretty good team this year. You know what? Their defense was improved.
Defense was great.
Yeah, very good. They mixed it up. They got Marvin Harrison, who's going to be a top 3 pick, absolutely. But Ryan Day is just soft.
So I've got a description for Ryan Day.
Okay.
Baby fart.
Baby fart.
Every
yeah.
time you see him, it's like a baby farted in front of his face, and he's kind of got that ooh look.
Yeah.
So Ryan Day's new nickname is Baby Fart.
Yeah, that's accurate. Because
Shout out Ken Stewart for that tip.
Shout out Kenny.
Yeah.
4th and 2 with 40 seconds left, and Ohio State decides to run down the clock at the end of the half to frickin' kick a field goal. A 52-yard field
Yes.
goal. Like, that shows you what you are.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to keep rolling on this.
Okay.
I want to chime in on the field goal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Ohio State kicker hit the first one. I don't know if the broadcast showed
Yes,
that.
They did. They
Okay.
did. Yeah.
And then we're all like, "Oh, now he's definitely missing the second one." That's kind of where
1000%.
that's where our brain
love that.
went.
Yeah.
So keep going about the game.
No.
So Michigan played the game to win. Ohio State played the game to not lose, right?
Yep.
The whole concern.
Absolutely.
That 4th and 2. The 4th and 1 from their 46 where they didn't go for it. Baby Fart just was scared.
Scared.
And I understand, right? There's a lot of pressure. Baby Fart is 56-7 in his career. He's got 3 losses to Michigan and 3 losses in Bowl Championship Series.
Yeah.
So that's an unbelievably great record.
Yeah.
But I haven't chimed into Ohio State Twitter feeds, but a lot of people must be calling for him to be fired.
Yeah. He is not a comfortable man in Columbus, Ohio right now, to say the least.
So you brought up the day thing. I went back because so Doran's my guy.
Shout out-
Doran's been on the show.
Shout out to Isaac.
Shout out Doran, bro. Doran's my guy. Doran was on last year after the Big Ten championship, not the Ohio State game. After Michigan whomped Purdue.
Yeah.
That's when Doran was on. And in the episode prior to that, we're talking about Ryan Day, and we're talking about how we literally said if he loses next year, you have to fire him. Let's reevaluate that. 365 days later, Ryan Day lost the game again. Do you think he should / will be fired? Because I'm pretty tossed up. I don't know.
I don't think he will be fired, and actually, I don't think he should be fired.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Who do you hire?
He may leave.
For where? Not
NFL.
A&M.
NFL.
Oh, interesting.
No, NFL. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
NFL.
Chicago.
Vegas, Chicago. There's lots of lots.
Yeah, Justin Fields, they can match up again. Las Vegas will hire anybody.
Buffalo went out and said they're not going to fire McDermott. That means they're going to fire McDermott.
Yeah, he's done then.
That'd be a good option.
Okay, so I don't know. I thought about the Ryan Day thing. Like, I don't think they'll fire him.
Sir, I'd like you to refer to Ryan
Baby
Day as
fart.
Baby Fart.
Yeah,
Third
no.
base.
Third base, baby fart.
I don't think he will get fired. And it's who are you gonna get that's better? Who are you
Yeah.
gonna get to replace him? That's just kind of the thing. When you fire a coach, you got to have a better backup.
And it's
plan.
easy to criticize
Yeah.
who you're going to get.
Yeah, last time,
And who's their defensive coordinator? Who's got to be a beast? Because
Jim Knowles.
That's a name.
Yeah. They got him from Oklahoma State 2 years ago to beat the Michigan Wolverines. They said, we're going to come out, we're going to beat them. And what did we do? In Columbus last year, we put up 45 on them.
Well, didn't they showed last year in the game, they showed him in the booth and was like, he's cooking up this big defensive game plan, and like that was maybe before like a big Cornelius Johnson touchdown or something like that.
Yeah, no. So yeah, Jim Knowles, put him as the head coach. But last time Ohio State was in a position where the program didn't know where they were going, and it was after the Jim Tressel, and then Luke Fickell came in. They said, nope, Luke Fickell, no.
Yep.
They went and got Urban Meyer. There's no Urban Meyer left. There's no Urban Meyers
nobody
out
in the
there.
transfer portal that they can just pick up.
I don't think so. I don't. Mike Elko went to Texas A&M. Like, What's that?
Yeah, I
what's
don't know.
that? So I think Ryan Day is going to stick around unless he goes to the NFL. Which
Who's going to stick around?
Baby Fart,
Baby Fart, yes.
third base, Baby Fart.
Yes.
Okay, what else on the game? What else do we have on the game?
I need to talk about Michigan for a couple minutes.
Please.
They played aggressive. The quarterback sub in with Orgy running a couple of option plays. That
Loved
was so good. And here's the thing: they didn't run that all year. They just kept it in their back pocket. Boom.
Yep.
And I think he only was in for 2 plays.
2 plays.
That's enough to plant the seed, mess up the timing of Ohio State's defense. Great. The halfback option pass from Edwards to Loveland,
Love it.
who is a beast. So good.
Legacy games against
Yeah.
OSU. That's what he does.
That's what he does. He shows up big
does.
moments, big games.
Yeah, bounce back after the horrific injury to Zach Zinter, and Corum scores a touchdown on the very next play. And then as he's walking off the field, he's like 6'5". For those of you that are listening to us, I just held up the number 6 and number 5, just like Blake did. By the way, we are available on all streaming opportunities, platforms.
Yeah,
That's the good.
yeah.
Say
Opportunities is also a good option. Spotify, Apple,
Yep.
Google Play, and YouTube.
Yeah, if they're here, they figured it out at this point, likely, right? So I don't think we need to.
I don't know. Some people don't realize they're on YouTube.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. And we have 3 bucket hats today.
Yeah.
I'll keep going about the game. Look, so
Yeah, Zach Zinter, Corum. Yeah, that was awesome. Go
Can I
ahead.
say something about Zach Zinter just quickly?
Please.
That moment. So I was watching the game with my dad, my brother, and our best friend Blevins.
my best friend.
Your boy too. Your
Little
boy.
Blevins, tiny guy.
Big tiny guy.
Yeah.
Big tiny guy.
I'm not sure if I'm going to play prison basketball with you guys.
No,
I play
he's
prison rules tennis.
yeah.
I don't know if I play prison basketball.
It's a little different. Sorry. Back to Zach Zinter. Long story short, we're watching the game together. My dad, former prison guard, just a tough guy. Just a really tough guy. Not a crier. He sees Zach Zinter goes down. Tough. That's the leader. That's the captain. He's the heart and soul of that offensive line. They carry him they cart him off the field. They're shouting, "What? Let's go, Zach! Let's go, Zach!" It's an unreal scene of human
Unbelievable.
experience, right? The very next play, as you said, Blake Corum scores. I look over, we're high-fiving. My dad is crying.
That's awesome.
We've been to a few funerals in the family, okay?
Yeah.
I've never seen him shed a tear. But Zach Zinter getting hurt and then the boys answering with a touchdown.
That's a great story, but just be careful about all the family that you say that story to, because
Yeah.
Aunt Betty, who was a great person,
yeah.
didn't shed a tear for Aunt Betty.
No, unfortunately not. But anyways, that's the emotion that goes in to the game.
Yeah. Did you see
Michigan.
the Joel Klatt interview?
Yes.
You talked about it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh.
Yeah.
I
Chills.
will keep going about the game, and I'll talk about the in-person experience later.
I need to chat about JJ McCarthy. Solid.
Please.
Obviously, he didn't make a lot of deep throws, but he made a lot of big throws in very, very small windows.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 or 4 times when he made the throw, and there was no window there.
Nothing.
Then on the replay, you see, there was a tiny little spot between the linebacker and the safety.
Urban Meyer said it was one of the best
Awesome.
throws he's ever seen. He did a little. I watched some post-game analysis. He's like, I've been around in this game a long time. Never saw that. That's what he said.
Really?
Yeah, the one right at the goal line. I don't even remember.
To
who got
Roman
that.
Wilson.
Roman
Wilson. It was
yes.
the kind of the controversial call, but
Yes.
apparently Ohio State fans don't know the rules of football. Once you're in the end zone, the play is
once-
dead.
Break the plane, dude.
Yeah.
It's all we
That's-
needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used his legs more. Obviously, JJ. The question is, was JJ a little dinged up the last couple of weeks?
We knew that. It's a fact. He
Yeah,
has been.
they haven't talked about it openly, but after the game, he's like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good now
Okay,
compared to the last
I
2
didn't know
weeks.
that. Leg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Against
makes sense, actually. Did he hurt himself at Penn State?
Penn State.
Okay, that
Yep.
makes a lot of sense.
Those those convicts at Penn State. I'm not fans of them. I'm not fans of them.
No, James Franklin is a fraud. He's a fraud. That man gets paid like $8-9 million a year. Like he's making Mel Tucker money, R.I.P. And he's just what?
Sorry, old
Who's-
Mel Tucker money.
Old Mel Tucker
Yes,
money. Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. And
2
like
months ago.
who has Penn State beaten? I love it. You know what? Penn State, they have the best PR firm going.
They beat Maryland
Yo.
handily. They beat Rutgers.
Oh yeah, sorry.
They beat Ohio.
Like them and Notre Dame.
Nope. They beat Michigan.
Maybe Akron of
Nope.
Ohio.
No.
What's,
They-
what's
yeah,
that
they might
Ohio
beat
team?
Akron, Ohio, the
Yeah, they
Zips.
might have-
Yeah,
yep,
they
the
might have
Zips.
beaten the Zips,
Good
but they're
call.
not beating anybody else who has a respectable program out there. James Franklin, fraud, go blue.
Good job, Doran.
Okay, you want to talk about the experience?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I bought a single ticket in May. I was actually at a Tiger
May.
game.
Wow.
I
Wow.
was at a Tiger game with my buddies.
Investment.
This was an investment, and it kind of came up. We're like, let's just look. So we look, and they were expensive, but there was a single ticket, like one ticket, in row 2 for substantially lower than the other value of the tickets, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna buy it and it'll be an investment, and I'll either go or I'll sell it or something. I had the opportunity to sell it for about 2.5 times profit, maybe 3 times profit. That, though, I won't use numbers, but like if you had some idea, that was the figures we're looking at. And some are calling me a madman for not selling it. Fine, I'm incredibly happy with my decision, and you two probably support that.
Absolutely.
So,
you don't spend money on anything else other than sports.
Respect. That's fact.
Like realistically, any nice clothes that he has are mine, right?
Fact.
Most of the stuff he wears to play basketball with is free stuff that he got at a game or found at an old gym.
So I will say that, Doran, we play basketball once a week.
Tournament T-shirts, eh? When you go to the tournaments and you get a T-shirt for participating.
Like Mike Oakley found a sweatshirt 25 years ago. He wore it for a few years, and he gave it to me. Now Isaac probably wears it.
Yeah. So I will say, shout out OG. So while Dad wasn't at the game with me, everything I used, buying the resources, knowing what to do, when to go, where to go, all of this was acquired from him. It was like a subconscious, like Return of the Jedi, Luke. Remember when Luke throws away the lightsaber? Yeah. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. It was just that, right?
And it's funny because people don't understand all the stuff that we've done. So, like at the Thanksgiving Day game last Thursday, a couple of grown-ups that I know were a little bit concerned about you. And then I'm just not concerned at all. We're going to have to change the subject because you guys are just in laughing mode right now.
What about the Thanksgiving game?
Which game?
Concerned about me, Thanksgiving. They were concerned because I went to Detroit with my buddy's brother with no ticket. Was that the concern?
Yeah, that was the concern.
Yeah, I don't...
You thrive in those environments.
That's my home
You're
court.
resourceful.
We've done it our whole lives. It's nothing. And people are like, really? Yeah, really. We just figure it out.
You know who they're probably the fans of? A fart boy. No, what is it? Little fart boy?
Baby fart.
Baby fart. Yeah, they're a fan of baby fart. Yeah.
Well, they're a little bit
soft.
Like, well, they're normal. Like what we do is not.
They are one with StubHub, right? Like they are one with you, and that's fair, and that is rational.
I don't even know if they're StubHub. I think they're
Ticketmaster.
Buy the ticket. No. From the Detroit Lions organization.
They're box office type of people.
And realistically, I don't know. I think 80% of the people are probably box office
for
people.
Sure. 80, maybe.
And then
more.
you got 18% that are StubHub, SeatGeek, and then you got
2%, and they're lunatics like us.
Yeah, I was going to say
like these two. Yeah. I wish I was a little bit more aggressive or a bit more on the edge. You guys are edgy when it comes to the tickets.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? Work hard, play hard.
Honestly, after the Boston trip where we had no tickets for anything, and we saw the Celtics play the Raps and the Bruins play the St. Louis Blues and the Patriots stomp on Cleveland. We had tickets for nothing.
Yeah.
And we paid face or less for everything. Just scalping the Boston Bruins alumni booth. We're like, okay, that's it. We can do anything.
I went to San Francisco, as you know, in October to see 49ers, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football, and Warriors, Lakers. We went to San Francisco with no tickets, right? Like, that's just how we operate. So, back to where I was going. All of this is just inherited through the force through my dad. So that's total respect there.
Respect.
So I went at 6 a.m. It was a big game, so I wanted to dress as Batman with Michigan overalls and a Michigan hat. I don't know if you've seen pictures.
I saw the long Michigan hat. It was like almost like a sock.
It's a good hat. That hat is probably 30 years old.
Over, dude.
Nice.
That's from my great Nona. That's from Nona Gemma. That's like
wow.
That's probably a 7-year-old hat. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Oh, it's so old. I wore that. So I wore a Batman outfit. Like I look like a madman. Like I look like a lunatic. So we get at 6 a.m. Me, shout out to Les, Mark, and Emma. Like we go, the four of us.
Love that.
Fox Big Noon. We do that. Mark Ingram. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Mark Ingram. Super good dude.
Like the running back from Alabama?
He's from Flint, Michigan.
Is he?
He is.
Okay.
And his dad's in jail.
Oh.
That's okay, though. That's okay. Hey, adversity. Mark Ingram, doesn't matter where he's from, what he does.
What water.
Working
anything.
in the jail?
What?
Not working in the jail?
He might be in the work program, but...
little PT duty?
So back to Mark Ingram. He was just talking to fans and signing. He was a really cool dude. So we did the Fox show. We did the Barstool show. That's where we spent the bulk of our time.
Oh, yeah.
Those on YouTube. The Free Harbaugh shirt.
That's a good shirt.
Caught that from Dave Portnoy.
One bite. Everybody knows the rule.
Barstool guy. So that was a really cool experience watching the Barstool show. Pretty different going from the Fox show to the Barstool show. Just I'll put that out there.
Yep.
So watching the game, so we're row 2. You talked about some of the moments. Opening INT, we haven't talked about that. That was massive because up until that point, Michigan hadn't really moved the ball.
No.
And it was
It
0-0
helped
ugly.
momentum a lot.
Yeah, it did. It changed the game.
You talked about the missed field goal at half, the Zinter injury. So that place just went silent. Right? Like 110, 111,000, loud the whole game, and it was just completely quiet. And it was pretty scary, to be honest. Team was distraught, and you could tell. Then the Let's Go Zach chants. The place goes nuts when he starts giving us the go-ahead. But when the game starts, we're still kind of antsy. And if you listen to the broadcast, you'll tell at the beginning of the Blake play, the audio isn't, like, it's just a little off.
Yeah.
The vibes were just off. And Corm gets the edge, and the place blows up. And that was probably the coolest moment of the game. So the Corm touchdown, very next play, like, that was what stuck out. Like, I'm always going to remember that.
Changed the game. It changed the game
Changed the
momentum. They could either went say, you know what, our guy, our captain, leader just went down.
Yep.
We're going to pack it in. This is too much. The moment's too big. But not Michigan. They said, nope. Adversity, we love it. Look it straight in the eye. Touchdown.
Game stealing, INT, that's the moment of the game. That's what everyone's talking about. And that, like, the place just erupted, right?
The funny thing is, watching it live, at least on the TV, I wasn't 100% sure. Like, right, because the announcers didn't really say much. So there was about 7 or 8 seconds where I'm, like, losing my mind, but, like, also not sure that it was confirmed. Now, on the field, you must have seen something to confirm it quicker, or...
No, like, honestly, so a lot of, I will say, time, memory, that day is kind of all a blur.
Yeah.
Completely sober, completely intact, but, like, there's stuff that I've seen pictures and videos of me, and I'm like, no memory of that. And we're going to talk about that soon. No memory after the interception other than just, like, screaming. Like, the interception happened, and then I was on the field. There was no...
Just bang, bang, boom.
Yep, they didn't take a knee. Like, it was just interception, boom, you're on the field. It's kind of where my mind... That's what I remember.
No, it was the same experience at home for us, too. We waited, like, 30 seconds, and we're like, knowing Michigan...
That was a long time.
Yeah, knowing Michigan and just being Detroit sports fan, you know what? That ball probably hit the ground, and this game's going to keep rolling and whatnot. So the doubt creeped in a little bit, but then once they showed the replay...
Well, especially the fumble off... was it...
Well, Abuke.
Abuke, the fumble, and then... You know, what happened there, played, like, I think it was the right call, but it was like, man.
It's a bounce.
Just
That's a
bad.
bounce. Bad bounce. And I thought we got another bad bounce, but nope. Rod Moore called a game.
There was, like, maybe 7 or 8 reviews that were all super close. There was lots of really close reviews, and in stadium, you do the Fox, like, 7-minute commercial thing. You're just, like, pooping your pants for the entire duration of the commercial. So, in terms of charging the field, this was something that we kind of all knew. Again, so my buddies are in the student section. I'm by myself. Made friends, of course, with who I was sitting with. And we kind of said, like, hey, we're going on the field. We're going as soon as we get the opportunity, right? As soon as I see one dude on the field, I'm just hopping over the railing. Because they can't stop us all, right?
No.
So I was one of the first few, just because we were row 2. So, like, in terms of percentiles, we were some of the first guys there. So I didn't really know what to do. My phone's in my pocket. I'm dressed as Batman, just, like, crying, no idea what's going on. I'd run to midfield just to go to the M. I don't know what. Like, looking back, I probably should have went to, like, the sideline or something to get. I don't know
where the players were at or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're just.
I just go to the end.
Adrenaline,
dude. That's where I run into Charles Woodson. We'll post. I think I posted on the story. We'll post a post where he's just there, like, with the phone, like, partying. Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
So then I'm with Charles Woodson.
This is the pogo stick moment.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Right? So Brian Day's name is Baby Fart.
Yeah.
Isaac's name is Pogo Stick because he was just hopping up and down, super pumped. Did not bring out the phone until much later in the encounter. Shout out Isaac for that.
Living in the moment. Because
Yeah.
you know what? Kids out there, they're just posting. They're on the live. Not Isaac. Isaac's like, you know what? We just beat Ohio State for the 3rd straight time. Probably the biggest game in the history, arguably, because now we're going to the 12-team playoff,
exactly what I wrote.
and that game wouldn't have mattered technically because they both would have gotten in. And Isaac's like, nope, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm just going to feel this. I'm just going to feel this moment.
Feel Charles Woodson's shoulder.
Yeah, and then Desmond Howard right there too. So he's just living amongst Michigan royalty, and you just fit in like a glove.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Lots of tears, lots of hugging. Everyone's just like, you're just going up. So I was by myself because my buddies were separated. So I'm on the field, rogue right now, just hugging whoever you can find. Just like everyone in Maize and Blue is friends. Everybody's friends. And then, luckily, I just ran into one of my buddies on the field. Out of all the, I don't know, tens of thousands of people that were crammed on the field, I saw my buddy. So
There must have been 50,000 people on the field.
it was like Charles Woodson was there and we partied, and then he had to quickly get out because, like, people were getting trampled on, phones were being kicked. Temple of Doom deep cut. But remember at the beginning, the opening scene when he's trying to get the antidote and it's getting kicked across the dance floor? In
Yeah,
Temple of
yeah,
Doom?
exactly.
It was like that.
It was like that.
Do you get that one?
No,
It's a
no,
deep
that
cut.
one
That's
that
a
one
deep
went
cut.
over. Sorry, but sounds like an unreal scene.
Unreal. I look back at timestamps. Any predictions on how long I was on the field? Because I had an initial thought, and then I looked at timestamps of photos and put it together, and I have a good number.
47 minutes.
Wow, that is a real. I love the
So
specific.
over under, you can take.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go 30.
No, you just say under.
Just under.
Okay.
It was under, I think it was about 43, 44, 45
good.
minutes.
Good,
Fair.
good guess.
I was,
Good
I
guess.
was on the field, just like taking pictures with. We'll do a cool big post of everything.
Love that.
So yeah, one of the best, most intense games I've ever watched. I've watched a lot of the broadcasts. I'll never forget it. Like you said, biggest version of the game, last version of the game.
Yeah.
That's all I got on the game itself. Just like this is a big moment for Michigan fans. Biggest win of the past 3 years. Thoughts?
Actually, I think the first Hutch win in the snow was bigger just because it had been such a long stretch. But this is right. That was a bigger win for Michigan 3 years ago. The win on Saturday, I think, was a bigger win for college football.
Yes, I agree.
Had more impact.
My take is we can't win these last 2 games if we couldn't win that first game. Like we just needed
I agree with
to
you. That
get
monkey off
over
our
it.
back.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all we needed to do. And you just saw the emotions in that first game back in 2021. Just outpour of the crowd, the sidelines, and that set the tempo. Now we're here to stay. This is a program that's going to be around for a while, and now we can enjoy the fruit of the labor of beating Ohio State 3 straight times. But this ranks right up there in terms of
It's got to be
historical wins.
spectacular for recruiting and transfer portal.
Oh yeah,
People look at that and like, oh my gosh, I got to come here.
absolutely.
I will
Again,
say,
yeah.
to add to that, when you're on the field, so there's like players going everywhere and just important people you're just filtered in with, right? Like we saw this big chunk of recruits, and you could tell they were recruits by who they were with and what they're wearing and their passes.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going, come to Michigan, come to, like everyone's just screaming at them like, yeah, like they're just loving
Yeah,
it, right?
I love
So
that,
like
for
to
sure.
add to that,
These are 18-year-old guys, 17-year-old guys.
for those kids to be on the field after that game with those fans, I don't know how you say no to Michigan. The only way you say no is if the thugs at Ohio State offer you $4 million under the table.
Dirty money and lots of tattoos.
That's probably the only way. Do you want to talk about the playoff at all? The playoff picture?
Go blue. I
Go
don't,
blue.
I don't care that much. I
Yeah,
know you
I
did
don't-
a bit of research. Go ahead. Give
No,
us-
no, no.
give us a
I
take.
honestly, I don't really care either. I think we can beat any team. Like, I don't know if I could say that last couple of years because
Everybody has some holes. Georgia has some holes.
Yeah, and I think Michigan, they can beat anybody that's going to be in the playoffs, whether it be Alabama, Texas, Washington, Oregon. It doesn't matter who it is. We'll face anybody, anytime, any place. Go blue.
Sorry, one more ad. Roman Wilson throwing the shade at Marvin Harrison was pretty funny.
That was good.
That was good. I have one question for both of you. Name 3 NFL wide receiver combos that you would pick over Marvin Harrison and Ibuka.
A.J. Brown
And Smith.
and Smith.
Okay, there's one.
Chase and Higgins?
Probably.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then maybe Waddle and Hill.
Yeah, Waddle Hill, for sure. Good
Yeah.
call.
But
Metcalf
that's it. Like
and
I
Lockett?
even
Yeah.
like,
No.
like I thought
No.
Amon Ra and JMO.
Dude.
Probably not.
No.
Until JMO gets more than one reception a game. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
until he learns the playbook.
Like Jefferson and what's the rookie?
Addison. Yeah.
Addison,
But still,
potential.
this is
Potential.
hard.
It's yeah.
A college team.
I will say
College.
Marvin Harrison, man, that guy is good.
He's
and
awesome.
He is a beast, and
Yeah.
he is huge. Like, we were...
6'4", 210 or something.
He's more than 210, dude. I don't know
Yeah.
what they list him at. We just saw... Like, he was in front of us for a bit. That guy's a tank. That guy's going to wreck the NFL for 15 years. Like, he's unbelievably
Yeah.
good. I'm really scared
Good.
of him. Get out of the NFC North. We can talk about the NFL now as a whole. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah,
I
we can
guess
do.
we can talk about the Lions a little bit.
Open with the Lions. Go ahead.
So a tough loss to Green Bay, but honestly, like they've been floating for the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
4 bad things happened: defensive line, cornerback play, offensive line problems, and Goff turnover prone.
Coaching.
2 of these 4 things need to be better for them to win in the regular season.
Agreed.
4 of 4 need to be better for them to win in the playoffs.
Agreed.
That's
And
my take.
Love Dan Campbell, big Dan Campbell guy. I think we're all,
he
you
made
know.
some mistakes. The
But he
punt,
just
everybody knows now.
Yeah, you can't go for it all those times. And I love that he goes for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 1, given the time and the place. But the fake punt, that was the game right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Didn't give us a chance.
So I talked about briefly, went with no tickets, got in for a very good number relative to the market, ended up lower bowl with Blake and just a bunch of buddies. It was great. But man, like pretty quickly we're like, okay, so this is just going to be one of those games. This is going to be another Goff game. This is going to be another Campbell just doing stupid stuff game. Incredibly frustrating. Talked about it. Goff's numbers were okay. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He was terrible. The last couple drives, he stat padded enough to still throw for 330 yards.
Yeah.
Like the Bears game, he did the same thing.
It was the exact same thing.
Yes.
He was really bad. You talked about Campbell again. Just one of his worst games probably of the year. Pass rush talked about.
How long is Anzolin injured for?
They said probably
Down for a
just this
bit.
week.
Okay.
It
Oh, really?
was
Okay.
I thought it was just this week. It was the hand injury, and they said he's probable for next week.
Pretty cool. Rodrigo's going to go both ways, eh?
I love that.
Okay, we haven't talked about that. So
Yeah.
and I was at the game, so I didn't. What's the deal? Can someone
So
explain?
he's
it to
been
me?
playing some fullback for a couple weeks, but then he ran a pattern and caught a pass on Thursday.
Yep.
And I think they like having him. Just it's a change of pace guy, and he hits people hard. And because Goff is just not mobile, they need a Montgomery or a Rodrigo in there to
protect.
block,
Yep.
right? Just as and that's important. So they're going to run him 25 plays on offense, I bet, and 50 plays on defense.
Love that.
Because I'm at the game and I see 44 catch pass, and we're like, was that? And I wasn't sitting with a ton of Lions fans, so I kind of began. I'm like, was that Rodriguez? I'm like, no, it was a fullback. I'm like, no, that's the linebacker. So yeah, Thank you for the knowledge there. I didn't know that.
Welcome.
I don't want to overreact to the Goff stuff, but I feel the need to overreact to the Goff stuff.
Sure, it's some merit to, you know what, 2 bad games in a row where he's just been giving away turnovers. And it's just, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. It's one thing to go out and get beat by teams that are either better than you or equal to you, but the Packers and the Bears aren't better than us.
No.
And the only reason why they were either in those games or we lost that game was because of our turnovers. So it's unfortunate. Goff's got to be better. I trust that he's going to be better because he's proven.
Goff should not throw more than 18 passes on Sunday.
Yeah.
The Orleans cannot stop the run. They've given out 200 yards rushing, I think 3 of the last 4 games.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Montgomery and Gibbs need to be tired.
We'll talk about Donovan
Jake.
Peoples-Jones. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Who?
He's a
DPJ.
ghost. I don't get it. Is he injured? Is he not playing? Why was that the move? That was frustrating. That's very frustrating to just see him not play.
I don't
not
get it
do
either.
anything.
I assume they probably had somebody, JMO or Amon-Ra, had an injury concern, and it was just insurance. I don't get it.
To me, not to pick up a pass rusher, though, during the trade deadline, and instead going to waste a 5th, 6th round pick on DPJ. Local guy, went to Cass Tech, shout out. But at the same time,
Went to Michigan.
went to Michigan too.
Yeah.
Detroit, Michigan, through and through. But you got to go get a pass rush. That is, in my opinion, the biggest weakness
And you
right
know,
now.
and that analysts say that Detroit this year, whatever they do is bonus. Next year's the year, and they're going to go in for next year. But listen, this is fleeting. Take advantage of the opportunity. Trade for a Sweat, even if he doesn't.
No. I'm not talking about. It's done. We
I know.
can't.
Fine.
It's in the past. They should have 2 straight losses to teams that they were like double-digit favorites for in the
Absolutely.
division, and that's a fact. And they're lucky they beat Chicago. But I'm in shambles now, and New Orleans shouldn't be scaring me. Derek Carr looked awful last week.
I'm a little scared of everybody right now.
I'm very scared right now. This is not a great time for the Lions. Hopefully next week we're talking and it's much better.
Couple quick takes. Who's your MVP in the NFL this year?
Good question. There's not really a runaway candidate, is there? Maybe Christian
There's
McCaffrey?
not. I think it's going to be Hurts just because he is putting up stats and Philly just keeps winning games even though they don't always play great. It's got to be Hurts.
Yeah.
Like
it's
Lamar,
a
Mahomes are also good.
Yeah, it's a
But
quarterback award.
It's a quarterback award.
Yeah, Hurts is a good take. Philly's 10-1. Yeah, okay.
Isaac?
It's stupid. I hate this stuff. The MVP in football is very stupid. It's okay. Who's the best team? Who's the best team right now?
Eagles.
Philly.
Okay, who is their quarterback?
Hurts.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
George
your MVP.
Bush.
I don't
MVP.
like it, but that's how football works. Unfortunately, as far like that's unless they change the rules, that's how it goes. Like McCaffrey, I think is a better argument. Tyreek Hill, I think is a better
Yeah,
argument.
but they're going to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Which
Well,
again,
how does that work?
offensive player of the year is like okay, the best player that doesn't play quarterback or isn't on the best team, right? It's stupid.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Who's the best player in
Christian McCaffrey.
football? Well, that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
he's not MVP because they're not the 1 seed and they've lost.
Well, because
It's stupid.
all the memes about him throwing to kids or
Oh, yeah, yeah,
handicapped and that kind of stuff.
The Peyton Manning SNL
Yes,
video.
yes.
Yeah.
Good bit. I don't like the way the MVP thing is. I don't like it in the way it is in basketball, but I just have to get over that.
One more question. Is Dan Campbell still in the running for Coach of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
They're 8-3, right?
Yeah.
Like
Good.
in a
Agreed.
nutshell.
And you know what?
Him and Mike McDaniel.
I think we're all a product of, Lions fans overreacting a little bit. 8-3, I think we all would have taken it at this point of the year.
Oh, for sure.
They just haven't looked as good as their record says they are, and they haven't played their best football. But 8-3, still a lot of games left, still a lot of room for improvement. Dan Campbell, possibly Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think so. Before we get into a couple of Doran's takes, what's the deal with these guys, Corey Perry and Josh Giddey? So Josh Giddey, little kids, little girls, is that the deal?
This is not we're not going to be talking about this on this platform.
No.
So I'm not talking about this. I
Bad?
don't know if you want to.
No, just bad situations that they're both in.
Somebody asked me about it today, and I said, I don't know.
No.
Tell them that's not the. We don't discuss these. This is not the
We're
platform.
love, joy, passion, and fun.
Joy, passion,
Okay.
fun,
All right.
and, doing the right things.
Fair enough.
I'll pivot back to football because
Okay.
I prefer football as opposed to talking about Josh Giddey's allegations. I don't know if that's a hot take. The Eagles, you talked about getting lucky. When they continually win these types of games, it's not luck. This is a line I've used on the basketball court before. You probably haven't heard me use it. When I hit 6 straight 3-pointers on your head, not your head, just on the collective.
General, yeah, he has though probably.
And someone's like, it's lucky. Maybe it was lucky the first 2 times. Someone, white man can't jump, right? Never hit 3 in a row. I never hit 4 in a row. When I keep making them, when the Eagles keep winning these games, it's not luck. That's just who they are.
Yeah.
So there's my thing on Philly. That's just who they are. They're a really good team, and they can win any type of game. They're incredibly scary. They play San Francisco this week.
It's a big game.
It's a huge game.
It's a big
Are you
game.
familiar with the spread?
What?
No.
Why is San Francisco? Can somebody explain that to me?
I don't get it.
I
What's the
read
spread?
it.
What's the spread? Sorry, I'm not familiar with what the
Niners
spread
at Eagles.
I thought 3.5 is what I saw.
San Francisco favored by 3.
is. Really?
At Philly. And I'm a betting man, but I'm staying away from that because that has Eagles plus 3.
And I picked Philly. I don't get it.
I think Philly wins. I think
Wow.
Philly wins outright. 'Cause
Huh.
I just think that's the type. Like I don't trust Purdy at Philly. Not
No,
yet.
it's a hostile environment. They're looking for blood.
They're
yeah.
looking for blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Panthers. We talked about the AFC. Do we want to talk about the AFC at all?
Sure.
What's your take?
It's just like I was looking at the playoff picture today. They've got all these 8-3 teams. These awesome 8-3,
Baltimore,
9-3 teams.
KC,
Jags,
Jacksonville.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
And then there's a huge drop off, and everyone else is kind of a joke, right? The Steelers.
Poor Buffalo.
The
Poor
Steelers.
Uncle Brad.
We'll talk a bit about Buffalo. You've got like Steelers, Browns, Colts, Texans, Broncos, then the Bills. None of those teams really scare me. Some of them are fun. Like I like Houston. Buffalo, obviously on paper, is supposed to be the best team here. I don't know where you stand on the AFC and who you think will come out of it.
I don't know. Like obviously it's too bad what happened with the Bengals. I thought they were gonna make a push there and they could probably have been favored, but Joe Burrow, R.I.P. It's tough.
I
It's
got to go with
tough.
KC. I think KC's going to somehow figure out a way to get receivers to catch enough passes to win some playoff games. Mahomes is a magician.
He is, and their defense is elite this year.
Yeah,
It's the
And-
best in Mahomes' career.
Yeah, easily,
Yes.
easily. So
It's
they can carry
unfortunate
them.
that he's got the worst wide receivers in football, but maybe not the worst, but close.
Shout out to Taylor Swift.
No, not shout out her. Do we have anything else about football you guys want to talk about? Any more about the NFL?
Yeah, I just wanted to set the record straight. Actually,
Set it straight.
last time I was on the show, we made some bold NFL predictions, and I came out and said that the Cowboys would be a favorite to win the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan, and a lot of listeners to the show have now come up to me in public saying, "Hey, remember your take last year about the Cowboys? Your team, the Cowboys, winning the Super Bowl? That was dumb." Well, I'm here to set the record straight. That was a dumb take. I don't like the Cowboys, and I'll never say something like that again.
Never again.
No, that was just
again?
dumb. It was just, you know what? You guys should have probably drug tested me after I
You
said
got to
that.
cut up in the moment. Listen,
I did.
The studio, people get excited walking into the studio.
Yeah,
To be really clear, the studio's our basement.
but it's pretty legit. If you haven't been down here, you probably haven't had the privilege.
Well, the lab next door.
Oh,
That's
my
pretty
gosh.
good.
If
Like,
you're-
the
When
research
we
is
finish,
done.
I'm gonna go and sweat Knicks, Pistons, and Cavs Blazers tape. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're built for that.
I'm
You're
built for it, dude.
I think I have to go to Dante's gym and punch some things and lift some things and put them down just because I'm angry.
Is this a Gladiator? Are we segueing back into Gladiator again? Because that's what I'm feeling right now. That's what the studio is like.
It wasn't intentional, but we might be doing that.
Shout out to Gladiator. But no, that was my take last year. It was very poor. I won't make a take like that again.
Come on,
this
give
year.
us a take.
Okay,
give
Super
me
Bowl.
something.
You got
Bowl.
something in the chamber. What is it?
What do you
Yes,
got?
do,
Come
dude.
on, give it to us.
All right, Super Bowl champs,
Oh, dude.
2024. We're gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs. That's not really a take.
Okay,
That's
okay.
That's still a take. That's
No,
a take.
still a take.
I consider that a take.
We're gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs.
Over Philly.
Yeah, over Philly.
I'm
Over
there for
Philly.
that. Dude, I'm so there for that, though.
Just because I just Philadelphia they're a good team. Like you said, 10 wins. They're a really good team.
Yes.
But I just don't trust them. I feel like somebody's going to figure out the push-tush. Or somebody's going to... No, we're not going to talk about injuries. We never predict injuries.
Never.
No, we don't talk about that. But I just feel like the Eagles...
So you
they've got
basically
a whole-
just
Actually,
said you think
whoever
Hurts is gonna
quarterbacks for Chicago Bears gets injured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'll
that's
be
not
on.
an
If
option.
we're
What's
doing
that?
Super Bowl stuff,
Yeah, let's do Super Bowl stuff.
I'm
Just
in on
quickly.
Philly. I'm in on Philly.
You're taking Philly.
Yeah, like I recognize that
They're
like,
so deep and they're so good.
they've been outgained 4 weeks in a row. They've won every game.
Right.
I'm in on Philly.
Carter
I'm in
Davis,
on
their
Philly.
defensive tackles, they're beasts.
Super Bowl for you? Who do you got?
Philly.
Philly. Okay.
Yeah, they're so
I got
good.
KC. Let the record straight. Not a KC fan. I actually don't even want KC to win. Who do you
Oh,
want to
I
win?
have respect for Mahomes. He's so good.
He's very good.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
fine-
no,
I'm fine
he's
with KC winning.
he's excellent. He's
Who do you
excellent.
Who do you want to see? Who do
I'd
you
like
want
to
to
see
see?
Miami go for a run. They're fun to watch.
I like
do I.
I like Mike McDaniels. Is that his name? He's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's cool.
I would love to see Miami. Miami, Philly.
And he's
like,
all about the fit too, eh?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can I say it? Lions. Like
No,
we can,
dude, no.
No, we can entertain it. We're 8-3. We're gonna win the division. Anything can happen when you're in the playoffs. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. And that's the same mentality when you make the playoffs. We're gonna be hosting a playoff game at Ford Field. Jared Goff is gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out how to rush the quarterback. And who knows? Maybe the Lions are gonna be in the Super Bowl. I'm not expecting it, but it's not impossible.
okay.
Sorry, that was my
So
my
good.
bit.
Thanks for coming on. That's why we wanted Doran, because Doran is allowed to use the S word next to the Lions, and I'm not going to do that probably ever.
I don't recommend it. I honestly don't recommend it, but this is just years.
That's
of
radical.
Yeah, it is radical. That's my radical take today.
You gotta believe,
You gotta believe.
right? Sports is about believing.
Yeah.
Like, you never know. Games happen, upsets happen. Mon Ra is not human, so we could just like take the ball and not be tackled. So
Yeah.
things happen.
Okay, so before we close off, Doran wants to talk about New Year's. So Doran, go ahead.
Oh, New Year's.
So-
Yeah, big time.
Just to let everybody know, I don't know when you're gonna be listening to this, but the holidays are approaching. So
They
make
are.
sure you get your gifts now. Don't wait until the 23rd
You know
or the
what?
24th.
We got a little bit of truth with Tal Isaac gear
Yeah.
that's available for sale. Those are good Christmas presents.
That would look great on mom and dad. That would
would.
look great on your girlfriend. Okay? Look at this. Shout out to the boys. DM them, message them. They'll take e-transfer. Get your swag now. But the holidays are approaching, and that means New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are also approaching. So some people, they like setting goals. They like setting, New Year's resolutions, right? Some schmucks out there
Yep.
like saying, January 1st, I'm going to be a changed person. That's not for all of us. But maybe we can entertain it for a second here and say, hey, going into next year, New Year's resolution, let's just put it out there. Here's something that we want to do in 2024. And I'm going to add to that, what's something sports-wise that you want to do or accomplish in 2024? I'll start, just while you boys think, because I'm kind of putting you guys on the spot. Michigan is going to play in Washington next year. They're going to play the Huskies because the Big Ten is now becoming the big
Everything. Big
everything.
USA.
Yeah, the big TV contract conference.
Yes.
So that means we get some pretty cool road games, and one of them is Michigan versus.
We have friends in Seattle too.
Do you? Okay.
When is that?
Ooh, good. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Well, you want to go? Is what
I'm
you're
gonna
saying?
go. We're gonna go. I think we talked about it with my dad, my brother, Blevins,
cool.
and we started thinking about it.
Seattle's a great city.
Yeah.
Seattle's cool. I heard. I haven't
Yes.
been. You guys have been?
Yep.
Worth it.
Yep.
All right. So
I'm in.
Washington, 2024. That's my New Year's resolution. Sports New Year's resolution is to watch Michigan versus Washington.
Okay. I'll let you go, Dad.
Boy, that's a really good question. Michigan road trips are a lot of fun. Michigan is playing in Illinois next year.
Champagne.
Yeah, and that was one of the best road trips that I ever had with Uncle Mike and Simon Spratley. We should go and try and reincarnate that. We'll bring Ogs and Attridges and whoever wants to go.
Okay,
let's,
sure.
Let's do a huge group to Champaign, Illinois.
Watch out, Brett Bielema. They're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
I don't really I don't know what to say here.
I didn't know what to say. I just came
That's
up with
okay,
the
'cause
champagne
the way- I
cans.
love it.
Because the way I operate, it's like
Hey, it's Thursday. What are we doing Saturday? Let's drive to Iowa. Let's
that's kind
drive
of
to Indianapolis.
So I'll just say that, right?
Yeah.
For example, Michigan plays
seize the day. Carpe diem.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
Williams, R.I.P.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Michigan
Captain, my
Michigan
captain.
plays in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship. Yesterday being Wednesday, me and a bunch of buddies were like, okay, we're just gonna go. We might not have tickets. We have a car. We have some fuel. We'll be good, and then we're just gonna go.
Yeah.
So just keep being open-minded
Yeah.
to sports opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
I will talk about New Year's.
Yeah.
Stupid, completely overrated. I don't
Overrated, completely.
understand it. It's not for me. Different strokes. I get it if you're a big New Year's guy. Respect. Just not really my thing.
Do you guys know this, that college football playoff is not on New Year's Eve this year?
Oh, when is it?
It's on January 2nd, I believe.
Okay.
So this is the first year since the college football playoff that they're not playing the semifinals on New Year's Eve.
Are these? Well, is it stupid names? What is the names? Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl,
It
Rose
is
Bowl,
Rose Bowl we got and Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, Sugar Bowl.
and the national championship is national championship
I believe so, in Houston.
in Houston.
Yeah.
In Houston.
Will we see you guys there? Is that a chance?
don't get me
It's
started,
two.
'cause I
Sorry,
want to.
it's
I
not.
want to.
It's not a
I
week
want
out. If it's a week out, they'll have a decision there.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, Doran. Anything to say to the fans before we close off?
No, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Thank you to the two of you for having me on. You guys are always a great listen. There's no, there's a
Number
reason.
one sportscast.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Wins wrestling.
It speaks for itself. These boys know what they're talking about. They bring good vibes.
And we have fun.
That's it.
That's the goal. Do the right thing. Period. Have fun. Peace out.